Real life memories of Muda Lawal.
Someone said like when you watch Hilal, he said so these are the people who now
is competing.
They are trying to bring people who can actually get them to compete, and that is what we saw against Real Madrid. See, yes, we are in the Saudi Pro League. We want to attract the best. That's why we want to see me. That's why we want Bruno, and that's why we also want people like Inzaghi. All the action is happening at the Club World Cup in the United States of America, but coming to you from the fornication capital of the world, Lagos State, Tunde Young, Joba Ogunwale, Izuchukwu Akawo, Ayoola Kelechi, and a special guest of honor, the brightest of us all, the man whose face you cannot look at without wearing sunshades or sunglasses.
Fair enough.
Josh Too Sporty, not a parody of Josh Too Funny. Maybe that's what it was hoping to achieve.
No, that was not. I didn't give myself that name.
Oh, word. Yeah. But Josh joins us, and we can only say he's a veteran of the industry. Well, yeah, Josh, welcome to OnlyFootball. Episode 19, ladies and gentlemen. We're still alive, still well. We bring it to you once every week, which means that for 19 straight weeks, we have been cooking and kicking. If we were a baby, we would be halfway through. You can no longer abort us at this point, legally. But we are still alive. We are still well. Speaking of abortionists, Faruq is not here with us. But he's on leave, enjoying his leave period. So, salam alaikum to him or whatever they do over there. But the rest of us that are here. Welcome to the show, guys. Everybody's happy. Are we?
Yeah.
Relatively.
Some people have not eaten, but it's fine.
I'm hearing
if you're
report
happy,
reaching me.
If
you don't know, I have an invisible earpiece. Report reaching me is that this side of the couch is hungry. And this side of the couch is incidentally well fed. This is a sports podcast, but we have to discuss something that is not exactly sporty, but I found out, and information is power. Did you guys know that Josh eats six noodles?
Jesus Christ.
Josh, too sporty.
Josh too foodie.
Confessed voluntarily. He was not pressured. He was not tortured. He was not under duress. He volunteered the information that on a light day, that not after a stressful day, not after he just escaped IDP camp, he would just be at home and eat 6 noodles.
Which of the noodles?
Speak for yourself.
I can do the 6 small noodles, but for the
You can still
premium
big
big one, like 2. On some
wait,
good
like
days,
the big,
3.
you can do 2
The
of
biggest
the
one.
biggest
Isn't that called
Yes.
family size?
No, that's not.
No,
for
hungry
me.
man
No,
size.
yeah, like which is
Clearly.
exactly what it is.
No, so I think the reason why I'm not like Izu is I've not eaten today as well, but I don't feel hungry
You have
because I
reserve.
eat for fun.
No, because you've eaten everything you need to eat for this lifetime. So you don't need to feel hungry.
I eat for fun, and due to the fact that the food. Look at the skin. The food goes to the skin, and in places that we can't see as well. So.
That's all right. That's all right.
All right. I don't know where to go with that statement, so let us just tell you that we actually do have a lot of sports to talk about. The Club World Cup is going on. First round of games have been done at the time of recording. Second round have kicked off. I will talk about what we've noticed so far, the sparse attendances, the interesting introductions, and so on and so forth. We'll be talking about the transfer window. So far, we've sort of, because the transfer window long, so we sort of neglected it a bit. But yeah, it's a slow news week. So let's talk about it. Who is moving where? What are our favorite moves? And what are Nigerian players up to this transfer window? The Premier League fixtures were also released during the week. The suffering will continue to suffer. So as we learned. We will talk about that in full detail. But first of all, guys, episode 19, clap it up. We made it. We survived. We are alive. We're well. Some of us are hungry. Most of us are happy. Just let's talk about it. Club World Cup. What has been the biggest takeaway from the first round of games so far? Josh, you have the first right of refusal.
Okay, so first off, La Vecchia Signora defeated Al Ain 5-0. If you didn't watch
Juventus, of course.
Juventus, the old lady, La Fidanzata d'Italia.
Veterans.
I know
This guy don't run bring Juventus government name. That's basically the normal Juventus.
That's
So
basically
Juve.
old lady in Italian. So I mean,
He even said that
primavera.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
but then of course it was a
was 6
phenomenal
noodles in
performance. 5-0. I think I'll eat 5 noodles to celebrate that victory. I mean, the only club that's won everything to have existed in football, La Vecchia Signora. Yeah.
It's very Juventus jersey.
That's I mean the reason.
You are a Juventus fan?
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
not know this. I just thought you were wearing Juventus jersey as a sports fan. And that's interesting. How long have you supported Juventus?
I will probably say since I started watching. I have 2 clubs I support for.
Oh, so
2
since the
reasons,
80s?
yes. No, not since the 80s. I'm not that old. Don't worry. I mean, if I'm that old,
Brother, watch Michel Platini.
if I'm that
Tear
old,
up the Syria.
If you look through his Twitter, you will see several
must-
sales the day tweets.
Must be really, really hard to be a Juventus
Juve
fan,
fan.
especially in Europe. You guys lost, I think, 7 or 8
Seven
Champions League-
finals,
Champions League
7 finals,
In
1,
fact, there
2.
was a season you lost back to back.
back
to-
to
to-
2, no, 15, 17,
So you
Barcelona
never seen
and
Juve
No,
win the
you, I
Champions
mean,
League?
you lost in
Which
96,
Champions League
97.
did Juve win?
97.
97, yeah.
We were
Was it
watching
nice?
football
Was
in
it nice?
97.
He
Okay.
watched it now. Why are you hitting?
I wonder.
I mean, there's always going back to what
I know
old
you
clips.
will not believe
And
this.
everything.
I know you will not believe this.
So they don't come and lie on that.
But I was born in 97. What do you mean you won the 97
You are
Champions
born
League?
97.
Please.
Come on, bro. Come on.
It might have been
Come on.
1897.
you were born in 97.
Maybe this is your 5th life. You've reincarnated. For those who believe in Hinduism and
Still
Buddhism.
less lives than Indomie that he eats. What?
I mean, at least I eat and it shows in my skin. You
Wait.
eat and it shows in
God damn!
I have to go there. I tried to be nice.
Juve didn't win in 97. They lost.
Sorry, 96. That was
Yeah,
96.
97 was Dortmund.
Dortmund,
Yeah.
96.
Atlanta.
96.
They won 96, lost
96, lost 97, lost 95
They
as
no,
well.
no, they lost
Was-
98.
They lost 98
As well.
yeah.
Real
Lost
Madrid.
98 back to back.
Yeah, back to
So
back.
that was
Yeah.
3 finals.
Always
in a row.
fun to just see people talk about their
Also
childhoods.
95. Ajax.
95, yeah. They lost 95 too. Van der Sar.
That's interesting subject now.
Yeah.
What's the farthest back, the earliest football game you remember watching? This 97 convention.
Has to be Nigeria versus Spain, France 98 for me.
Also France 98, but a different match. I think it was Nigeria, Denmark. The 4-1.
Earliest football I remember is still France 98, but the final.
Did you
'cause
not just watch Juventus 96?
I said I rewatched it.
Okay, you rewatched it.
I
You
rewatched
said
it.
like
You went back from 1998 to watch the highlights. 97.
I rewatched it because the earliest I remember was France 98 because I know that year my birthday cake, because I was so enthralled by that game, my mom made a birthday cake with the 11 aside. So
it's
it's
in 1998.
Yeah, with the
birthday cake,
yeah.
with 11.
Damn.
With 11.
That,
So there's no way it would definitely hit in my memory because the cake also signified that you are really all into this France 98 thingy. So I think it also led to me liking Zizou, which also
that's
led to
great.
me
That's
liking
great.
So,
Juve.
Izu, I think it goes without saying that you saw Odegbami and them win 98.
Yeah. And
God will ne-
yeah, all of them. I did.
God will
But-
never
but-
God will never Nabare.
What's the
1978.
earliest football game you remember watching?
I think the one game that registered so very well for me, I mean, Atlanta 96. That's Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Memories.
Yeah. So that was really, really small. And if I remember vividly, we had to watch through the glass. You know, I think that was yeah. So that was it. And it was really, really good watching Nigeria win those games from Brazil to Argentina. Yeah. Bebeto cried. So that was
Bring Brazil. And it was still in the US where they're playing the Club World Cup. So
Yeah, so back to the club.
yes.
Oh, you're not going to answer your own?
If I talk, I don't believe you.
He's on. He
Hey, Joba has
produced.
answered his own.
Yeah, 98, France 98.
1980 AFCON final. You were at the stadium.
Cheering for the Green Eagles.
Green Eagles is crazy. Green Eagles is crazy. Look,
He was.
our esteemed former senior colleague. So it's,
Or was that where they
always
proposed
talks
to?
about.
Was that where like the parents proposed to each other in the final?
Stop it. It's always talks about Budala Lawal is one of Nigeria's greatest ever players. Like, damn.
1977 All African Games.
You have real life memories of Muda Lawal. My own first game that I remember was, I know you will not believe me. That's why I don't want to say it.
Just say it.
The 1966
Just talk
World
up.
Cup
When be
final.
that?
Korea, Japan.
No,
2002.
the first game that I have a vivid memory. I've been watching football before that, but the first game that I had a vivid memory of watching was Porto Monaco final, the Champions League.
2004.
Yeah.
Why did you start watching football in your teens? Why did you start watching football in your teens?
They don't get TV for us.
That's how we just buy the TV safe. They can't launch and you just dey check waiting. Porto Monaco, we watch out. We didn't even know if it was live.
Patrice Evra.
Anyway,
They're lame.
let's go back to the Club World Cup and stop revealing our ages. Even though I think people could have guessed the episode. But yeah, the Club World Cup. What did you say caught your eye? I think you were saying something.
Juventus win,
And
yeah.
then the fact that for people who are Eurocentric in football, personally, I love the club world cup. I love competitions like this. I prefer international football to club football. So it also shows people that football is not just the mainstream.
Yeah.
And then you're seeing Palmeiras, you're seeing Fluminense, you're seeing Boca Juniors, should I say, let me speak PJ now, show walkings. They are really proving that football is, in fact, they say the English created football, then the Brazilians perfected it, and there are 4 Brazilian teams in this competition. So it's proof that these guys know how to play football. And if I was to do maybe the 2029 competition, maybe they get 2 extra slots.
Joba.
South American teams really have impressed me.
Absolutely. Joba, is there a reason as the, highest paid member of the team? Can you help us? Can you help us understand why, European teams are capped at 2 from each country, but Brazil has 4 teams?
Oh yeah,
Understand
so the way it works is that they pick champions from each continent, and because obviously South American farmers in Argentina and then the rest of the continent don't have. Brazil, I think Brazil teams have won the last 3 or 4 Copa.
Okay, that's how.
So that's the reason why they have so many teams
That's interesting.
from the team. For example, in the Premier League, Chelsea wouldn't have qualified for the competition if they had not won the Champions League in 2020.
Yes, that's typically how most people qualify. Pinpoint Chelsea
So
wouldn't have.
it's just
Would Man
basically-
City have qualified if they had won? They would have not won the Champions
It's just
League.
basically,
Okay, they are
performance over a certain period.
Yeah, I mean,
Performance certain period. So if you have all the teams in South America from Brazil, and they were the best performing team, they would have been in that competition. So that's just
so
basically.
how do we feel about the player intros?
Please, they should stop it.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind FIFA Club World Cup, but they should not bring it.
Yeah,
to the
let it
World
just
Cup.
be for the FIFA World Cup. They should do whatever they want to do. I mean, it's a pre-season friendly. Wow. Yeah, it's a friendly. It gives me this friendly setting. ICC.
I mean, I have to admit. I have to admit that
I'll disagree with that.
it does feel like a friendly because we are still in the preliminary stage. I think when we get to the knockout rounds and when things get more serious.
When it gets to that place, maybe I will change my mind. But for now, it's giving me the ICC America, apart from the crowd. So yeah.
I also think one thing I'm worried about going into the World Cup next year, I think it's the state of the pitch. I think players even complained about the
pitches being dry.
Yeah, dry and all that. I understand that that's to
Hates
do with
dry
the weather
pitches.
and all the stuff. But also, in fact, most of these pitches, because they used to be synthetic pitches, FIFA had to mandate the host cities that you have to get in natural grass.
It's not your regular farmers that are coming to play.
Natural grass for because most of these stadiums they do use them for I think American football and,
other
and
things.
MLS also. So I'm worried that the World Cup, probably maybe style of play might be affected. Likes of Spain that likes to play expansive attacking football will probably struggle on dry pitches and all that, because we've seen it, and this is just the beginning of the Club World Cup. When it gets to this round of 16 quarterfinals and all that, I think the style of play also would definitely be impacted.
I mean, do you think it is one of the advantages of having the Club World Cup in the same location as maybe like a test run to even as a fan get acclimatized to the times that you'll be watching the World Cup next year, knowing the potential pitfalls in terms of like what the pitch looks like. If we had just played the World Cup, we'll discover now they have a year to like fix it.
Yeah, I think so, and it also gives you the chance to even you as a fan plan ahead. Because this is where you're still going to come back from the World Cup, especially if your team is there. You familiarize yourself with,
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, sorry to Nigerians. So I think it's a very good thing. It's a test run for everybody involved, even FIFA, from all the fears about the crowd and everything. At least now they get to tell themselves that, okay, this is what can we do to get the crowd to come out more for the World Cup, even the host nations try, especially this expanded edition of this Club World Cup. So I think it's quite good for them. Everybody should be able to know what's coming, to know what to expect and what not to expect, where to improve and where not to improve. So and then of course even FIFA too, trying to test run some of the things they are going to use. For example, the ref cam, the camera. I think I've enjoyed that so far. It's been really, really nice. You could see the speed of the players and everything. The referees, more angles to it. They get to see things also better. So it's been okay. But that introduction, no.
All right, some notable results from the first round of games. Bayern Munich demolishing Auckland City 10-0. Alakli, the African team, dropping 2 points against Inter Miami. 0-0.
They should have won
Although
that
it was celebrated like it was a win for African
No,
football.
it was
they should have won that game.
dropped.
They should have won that game. And it's telling that they've now gone on to lose the second game in the group to Palmeiras, when they probably should have had 3 points by now. Now they will most likely not qualify for this group. But good news from the other African side. Mamelodi Sundowns 1-0 winners against Busan HD, did their job against the Japanese team.
That's all.
PSG Atletico Madrid that was built to be the game of the group stage.
We saw a repeat of the Champions League final.
4-0 in favor of Paris Saint-Germain. What other results caught the eye? Real Madrid and Hilal. 1-1. How Ayoola, have you been surprised with how good Hilal are? A lot of people seem to be.
No, not really, because
you watch them normal.
I mean, it's our job, but most reasons, when you look at the quality in the squad, even though you would say, oh, these are maybe they're not in the peak of their careers, people like Koulibaly, people like Yassine Bono, but they are still quality players. And for tournaments like this, age does not really count as a factor, because people come in fresh. So I mean, your quality, I mean, but they've also had like a short while to rest and recuperate and everything. So all that does not really factor as much as the actual quality of the players. And I think Al Hilal have a pretty good squad. The likes of Malcolm, Savage, Cancelo. So it's not like they have, I don't want to sound somehow, but it's not like they have,
Farmers.
Yes, thank you. It's not like they have those.
It's not like they have Ronaldo.
Cobblers.
Someone said
they have a well-balanced team, so I'm not really surprised. They have enough quality.
Someone said like when he watched Al Hilal, he said, so these are the people Ronaldo
is competing.
Al Hilal did not even win the league
this season was a leading hand. Ronaldo's team did not even qualify for the Champions League.
They haven't won the Champions League since 2021.
And they didn't even Ronaldo's team didn't qualify for the Champions League for next season.
Because they won Champions League in 2021. Which Odion Igalo was a part of.
Odion had a really good time in that place.
I think he also played the Club World Cup too.
Yes.
I wanted to add Osimhen and Bruno Fernandes to their team.
You know what? Before you continue that point, I have a theory that it's actually unfair, in my opinion, for teams that won the Champions League to qualify for this Club World Cup. Not this last Champions League, because you have already played the Club World Cup as virtue of winning that Champions League. Like when Chelsea won Champions League, they've already played the Club World Cup for winning that Champions League. Like so, it's now like you are getting 2 Club World Cups for one Champions League. It doesn't feel
well. They've kind of altered the format. So that old version of Club World Cup is now the Intercontinental Cup that Real Madrid won in Doha. So it's kind of like Real Madrid have still won something, and then they're still going to play this one as well.
Izu, you were telling us about the wickedness of adding Bruno Fernandes, Theo Hernandez.
That was actually their plan. Their plan was to add Bruno. Can you imagine Bruno behind
Osimhen? They would have beaten Real Madrid.
Yeah.
They could have beaten Real Madrid.
They should. I mean, you can see that Inzaghi's imprint is also on that team.
Simone Inzaghi, 2 Champions League final losses.
So I mean, I think that was the best game so far.
Really?
The tournaments. Yeah, I think that was the best game.
If you don't enjoy brutal hidings like Bayern.
No.
Enjoyed
Boca Juniors Benfica.
I enjoyed Boca Benfica too.
He had everything. Boca Juniors Benfica.
But the opening game was actually quite good. They just forgot how to score.
I think people like the fact that Al Hilal were able to
set them.
Like they dealt.
It's not like they stole the draw. They were contemporaries. They looked like contemporaries.
But should people be surprised? Like, should people be
Lots of people don't watch enough football.
Exactly.
Yeah, but also when you consider the difference in continents, we always say football is maybe a Eurocentric game, and
they're playing with Real Madrid. They're not just playing
any strong inside does not mean to translate.
No, here's the thing, right? I said something back last year. If you've watched some of the games in Saudi Pro League, you would notice the competitiveness, right? Most of these guys are also coming from Europe.
And they still play for their national teams.
Koulibaly might be in his 30s, but in terms, I mean, you have people who are older playing in European leagues, right? So what these guys have done is that they've taken what China wanted to do
and did it better.
Yeah, a better job at it. So, I mean, look at Inzaghi going to that. What do you think they are doing? This is a better coach in the league, So they are trying to. So they are purely. They are trying to bring people who can actually get them to compete, and that is what we saw against Real Madrid. See, yes, we are in the Saudi Pro League. We want to attract the best. That's why we want Osimhen. That's why we want Bruno, and that's why we also want people like Inzaghi to come to this league, so that when we get to tournaments like this, we compete.
So speaking of competing, and on the topic of former European players. Sergio Ramos with the goal for Monterrey against Inter Milan as well. Just as impressive as...
And he's like 50.
Sergio Canales as well, former Real Madrid Valencia player, is also their number 10.
Yeah, so well. I mean, this you have been seeing some players like
Aguirre, national team players. Are they still playing?
I saw the withered game against Manchester City. I saw Amrabat, not the United one. He's Nordin. Even though they look exactly alike. So for a while, I actually thought it was Sofian until I googled it. I did not even know Nordin was still playing. I thought he retired already. So it's nice to see some players.
David Luiz just left Fluminense. Lots
of people did not realize.
So if not, he probably would have. He would have probably still played.
The coach. So
there's the former PSG guy at Al Hilal as well. What's his name again? The Brazilian guy.
What position?
Malcolm.
Malcolm not play for
Barcelona.
Yeah,
former Barcelona.
Or is it Danilo?
No, it's not.
Danilo Pereira.
Was it Barcelona? Malcolm.
Yeah,
and also Renan Lodi as well.
I was actually surprised when I saw Renan.
So like it's been a throwback for
this is superb.
Before I move on from Club World Cup, predictions now from what you've seen in the first week, do you have a clear idea of who is winning? And if you do, tell us. Joba.
I'll still wait till the group stage ends before I can say, this is going to be the winner.
Izo?
I think PSG are good for the money. I mean, the way they moved Atletico around, and somebody came out to be saying, referee. You know how they will beat you so much.
They don't complain, they don't try. If it's like Simeone gave them different complaints, you talk referee, you talk pitch, you talk song. They can't be like saying they played in different locations and PSG was beating them from another stadium.
Yeah, so I think PSG are seriously the favorite.
Josh, too sporty.
Well, PSG are obviously the favorite because we've
But-
seen how they are. But it's
What's the name of that team again?
Juventus. No. I want Juventus La
Vecchia.
Vecchia Signora, the
Oh,
old
sorry.
lady in Italian. But I want Juventus to win, obviously. But it's either going to be a South American team or a European team. It's one of like Joba said, it's
First
too
of all,
early.
that is too. That,
No,
that you just call like
10
No,
teams.
it's too 18 teams. It's too early actually to state this team would win. But then the last time that there was a Club World Cup that had much teams like this in 2000 was a South American team that won, that was first and second. So it's one of a South American team or a European team that would win it, and
Again,
it's too early
Josh.
to pinpoint.
Okay, I will stick with you too early to because that was not a prediction. You cannot give us two continents.
Favorites are PSG, but it
Okay.
could go anywhere.
All right, Ayoola.
Yeah, I think one game week is too early to predict winners because tournaments like this are, by their nature, very unpredictable. And we've seen teams show out in the group stage and then get knocked out in the first round of knockout games. So
Nigeria,
it's still
AFCON
too early.
2021.
All right,
Nigeria
so as me and Mr. Lavecha Signori, we have teams in the competition. Can you put neutrals? Let us know what it's like watching this thing without any interest. It's like you just watch.
There's interest now because I mean it's still football. It's still
I mean,
club
there's
football.
interest for me. I mean, I'm an African.
Oh yeah.
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 so
Okay,
I'm
Yeah,
so
there are
yeah.
5 Nigerians in the Club World Cup,
In
by the
club,
way.
yeah.
I was going to shout them out, and all of a sudden now I can't find their names.
Plus all the ones that also are playing for other countries.
Yeah.
Other clubs, I beg your pardon.
You know, so
Yeah, other
it's-
countries are
There's
so-
Zaidu Sanusi for FC Porto.
I want to point out that
There's
even
this
though
guy for
There's one in Widad or is it
Experience.
Esperance?
Yeah,
Esperance.
Yeah, as we continue to obviously guess these people's names, I will find the actual names, and you know.
There are 3 in
Okay, yeah,
Dortmund.
I've found the
Saki.
5. So real one, Saki at Al Ain. They absolutely got mauled by Juventus. Hassan Mohamed also at Al Ain. Joshua Udo also at Al Ain. So 3 players from Al Ain. Zaidu Sanusi from FC Porto and Onuche Ugbelu from Esperance of
talented
Tunisia.
midfielder.
So those are the first set of Nigerians to appear at this new version of the Club World Cup tournament. Good luck, guys. Al Ain are definitely going
interesting
out.
names.
Anyway,
Unfortunately, I don't think that any Nigerian team would appear in the Club World Cup by 2029.
Wow.
Remo Stars will do that.
2029,
That's the
yes.
next edition.
Yes, next
like,
edition.
Guys, you have hope that any Nigerian
I don't
team
think- I
can
don't think-
accumulate.
I don't think any
The fact
of
that you
them-
put that 2029 means that there probably was a chance.
Yeah, one
The
team
chance
just
will
needs to
probably
win
come in the next 2030.
All you need to do just win.
win Champions League, and I
Yeah,
don't think
just
any
win the
Nigerian team
Champions
can win in the
League.
next 4
The-
years.
When last we played semi-final of any of the 2 competitions,
I
not
don't
just
think
Champions
Remo
League,
Stars
Confederations
are
Cup.
coming. Remo Stars are coming.
Remo
Don't worry.
Stars have not made
They
the
are
group
coming.
stage.
I said they are coming.
Next 10 years, not next 4 years.
They are coming. This is not.
Me, I'm not looking at 2033. I'm not looking at 2037.
Maybe 37.
2041, I'm not sure.
Maybe 37. Maybe 37.
We can do 2045.
Maybe 37. Because at least we
I
are
hope you
playing.
people are alive to see because you people are old as hell. But I will be.
Maybe by 37, because at least we are
Are you
starting
sure?
and finishing our season after.
All right, just as Joba implied that I'm going to die. Let us move on.
So we should call the police. Anything that happens to you.
Yes, please. But let's talk about transfer window real quick. Officially, it's been paused because of the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
But the clubs that are not playing in no
They
sense.
know. They know anybody.
They just they sign, they go. Go tell Barcelona they don't sign
Why
the
they go pause for you?
Barcelona have signed Joao Garcia. They are about to sign the Williams. The Club World Cup has started.
Yeah. So
Well, we
all
know
that
they play
to just
competition. You don't
continue.
feel arrest us.
Yeah.
So what are the transfers that have caught our eyes so far?
Definitely Liverpool, Florian Wirtz, British transfer record for German midfielder. And
How much was it again?
135? No,
116 pounds.
Including add-ons.
Mm,
Okay,
116.
pounds, yes,
pounds.
116
116
pounds, yes. And I feel like it's going to put a lot of pressure on Wirtz because
Really?
yes, it is because now people are expecting 20 goals, 20 assists.
People were always going to expect something.
Yeah, but
He has to defend too and keep.
yes, I mean, the
I
price
don't
tag-
think so because this logic would have worked, and it did work for someone like say Pogba because they were it was like one of the first like really high money midfielders. But now Vert is coming after Chelsea. I paid 115 for Caicedo. Chelsea I paid 105 for Enzo. Grealish cost 100 million. Lukaku has cost 100 million twice.
It doesn't.
So like, I don't think it's that much. People are trying to understand that if you want the top players, you will pay 3 figures.
Those players also
went through
similar things. And
when they started slowly.
For some reason, I just feel like, because we've already started seeing signs, and it just feels like Vert is going to be under the microscope even more than some of these guys. Because
I already have some great slander names.
Yeah.
I saw Florian Squet. I saw Doofenshmirtz.
Auschwitz.
I saw Auschwitz.
I do not see. My eyes are holy and clean. Please, thank you very much.
So by all indication, it does look like people are just waiting for him.
That's normal football. Like even people that
I feel like
that's
until it
football.
starts happening, they've already started doing this 007 thing for Sherky, but for Vert it's going to be more intense because it's not every. I know midfielders are going for 100 million. Midfielders are going for
Also, people
80,
hate Liverpool.
But I mean,
why is it not intense for Jack Grealish, who is not only underperformed as a footballer, is also a drunkard?
I mean, it's a very simple answer, but it's also a controversial answer, and I think it's because
He's white.
No, not just white.
British.
But English, yes, exactly, British, and they control most of the English-speaking narrative.
Also,
Yes.
I think because he plays for City. I think if he,
People don't care about City players.
Yeah,
enough,
I think if he had moved to, let's say, United for that same amount, I think there would have been pressure.
Yeah,
like there would have been
Maguire was
criticism.
white and English.
Yeah,
And he I see waiting.
No, Maguire's
waiting
one
no
was that he into do, so they had to be cooked. He had to be cooked.
so
It was way too much. It was way too
if he
much.
had moved to maybe like United or Arsenal, I think there would have been like a lot of
Let me
backlash.
give you a very interesting answer to it. Like you said, that is because United get the clicks.
Yes.
I mean, if you're on this
Yes,
job, you
yes,
know
yes.
that SEO, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, who won't read Grealish? Wait till you won't read,
So once you put Man United captain,
bro. Anyhow you put it, look
And
at.
it's United is more of a global brand than City.
Yeah, so I think there was this particular story where the guy never even arrived. We don't they hear waiting in do that fast. Just link up. It's just a link to the club. You know, so anything that allows the media inject United into their this thing.
Especially the British
Speaking
media.
of, so I would assume that Matthias Cunha is your own eye-catching sign.
Eye catching. Well, so far he's here, and so we hope that he can help United to get to where we want to get to. Not a bad player, but like again, he's not the first good player Manchester United is signing.
In fact, every player United sign is the right decision until they play for 6 months. Then they become the problem that have to leave until.
Yeah, so
Except
we're
Mason
always
Mount.
signing people who, I mean, when you look at people celebrate, he scored 15 goals for Wolves. You would think that's the first person to score goals that we've signed. You know, so me, I as a United fan, I don't celebrate signings. I wait to see, because I believe that, and that is why I don't go after players, whatever you believe, because when they start playing, you start hearing things that did not stop the signing. So whatever didn't stop the signing, I don't want to hear it. I just want you to show me why you signed the
That
player.
is not where you now remember that he's lazy. He cannot run in training.
Yes.
Meanwhile, you could have checked him in training before
Before
you signed
signing
him.
him.
The
Do you
coach did
understand?
not want him. It was the board that wanted him.
Exactly. So usually this is the time where people don't think rationally. They
It's
don't
just
check.
about winning the transfer window.
Yes.
Who signs the biggest name? When you call reach your club.
Rate the transfer window. You hear 10/10, and then
Okay,
season go start. You start
then you
hearing
actually be
stories.
10 over 10.
Yeah, you know. So we just have to wait to see what happens. Football is too visual to.
All right, Josh,
say a lot of things.
your eye-catching transfer of the summer so far.
Well, William Estival is not like a new signing. It was obviously known
Doesn't
that
count.
it doesn't
Because,
count.
yeah, somebody that was signed this
Somebody that
summer.
was signed this summer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. If I'm going to pick, I'll probably pick a manager. I was talking about
Oh, yeah,
it
sure.
earlier on. In as much as it's the Saudi league, I think Simone Inzaghi has a lot to prove. And if he can...
Prove?
Yeah, because if he can win a Champions League, I mean, he's lost 2 finals. The last one was horrendously. So if he can win a Champions League, maybe the AFC Champions League, and probably the SPL as well, coming
That
back to
proves what?
Europe, that he can come back to Europe and take something
No,
big.
he
Maybe even
could have
take
stayed.
maybe even take the national team job that
could
they have
have-
given to Gattuso. That I don't think.
He could have had it if he wanted. This is going to sound entirely financial.
You think if he wanted the Italy job, you think
I don't think. I don't think.
approach me with that job.
I don't think.
If
they
I
are
choose
giving it.
Lavetta Senior once, I would have been employed.
You probably can't even spell it.
You
so.
think Inzaghi, if Inzaghi wanted that Italy job, they would have given it to Gattuso.
Guy,
Fair
do you
enough.
know what will make Italy employ Gattuso?
Nobody.
Nobody did.
well, I mean-
and they did not want to go outside of this their Italians will handle the Italian.
I mean, they
national
always-
team
First of all,
To be honest,
there's
they've
good
always
reasons.
always
produced
speak
like great
Italian,
coaches.
And also,
So-
there's good
Yeah, but
reasons.
they
for
have
that.
great coaches.
It's
They
just
have great coaches.
availability.
yeah.
They have
Conte
great
has been
yeah.
there, done that. Unless if they want to pick Sarri. Where's Sarri?
I think
Going back to
He just
Lazio.
rejoined
Going back to
Lazio.
Lazio.
He
Lazio.
just rejoined Lazio, so that's probably the reason he could not take.
So they have coaches, but they are not really available. So
Gattuso was fired for finishing third in Croatia
Gattuso.
with this historically the second best team in Croatia. They were trying to finish first,
Of
obviously.
Gattuso. I mean,
Then after getting fired by Archduke Split,
they should have
he
taken
gets the Italian national team.
They should have taken Pesero
But
instead.
this is how it happens. This is how it happens. This is how it happens in national teams. It's not always the biggest name that.
But at least those
actually
people
gets the
have
job.
things going on for them.
Do they? I mean, Italy have also hired some very interesting names. I mean, I think it was Prandelli who failed to qualify for one of the World Cups.
2018
At least
World Cup.
Cesare Prandelli was part of the
Yeah, but I
team,
mean, at
the
that time,
age grade.
at that time, he did not have anything going for him. The way Tunde said.
So it's their way.
No, but you could understand
But you
the
can
logic.
understand Prandelli, just like
they
De La
chose to
Fuente.
hire in-house. You could understand
Just like
the
De La
logic.
Fuente, who was their
You could understand
academic
the
coach.
logic. Like when
Exactly.
Sergio got the England
Exactly.
job too. It's not. I don't think anybody thought
I mean,
Sergio
yeah,
should have
again,
got the
so
job.
I think
Like,
they
you
could-
understand?
But he had also been
for
sacked from
another
Middlesbrough.
guy who is currently unemployed right now, Thiago Motta. I think they
No.
That would not have been bad.
But like
No.
Motta is also Italian, and
In fact,
even-
I feel like probably
And
maybe
he was
turned it down.
chased away from
I
Juventus.
feel like he probably turned it
Done
down. That's the thing with teams like Juventus and what's up and coming young managers. Motta had it going good at Bologna. We turned them to
course.
the Champions League, and Juventus immediately saw that and I went to get him, and we're now willing
Gave
to
him
give
lots
the-
of money.
We're not
No.
willing to give him the patience.
They
They did.
they-
Well, not
they-
patience,
they-
but they gave him a lot of.
They gave him a
leeway.
lot.
They gave him a lot
A
of.
serious club, Juventus is not Man United. Motta should be sacked. Motta should be sacked.
Well,
For
I think
what
they
happened last
gave him a lot
season,
of
Motta should be
leeway.
sacked.
because
Yes.
Juventus is a small club.
He
You can't be
got
United.
rid of a lot of players.
Yeah, but
and
like-
also signed a lot of players.
So does that
So,
not mean that
I
it
mean-
should immediately click?
It should click.
If you are
within-
not
it should-
15th,
it should
my
click.
rule is if you are not 15th,
It should click.
you should do
No,
something. Within a
it should,
reasonable amount
it
of
should
time.
click with the fact that Allegri, with the lack of transfers that Juventus had, was able to win the Coppa Italia and also
different area.
No,
just a
just
year
before-
ago, just
he
a
was the
month
one that was-
ago.
I mean, they
He was
sacked
the one that
Allegri
was
because
sacked. You
he
sacked
was
Allegri because
struggling,
he was struggling
quote
in
unquote.
quote, and then you brought a progressive manager that
Yeah,
won his
with
first two
new
games,
players.
3-0 with new players. I mean,
They were-
Juventus
they were
should not
his
have
players.
struggled. Juventus should not have struggled to make the top four.
are doing one Fugazi unbeaten on.
Juventus
drew like 8 out of 12 matches.
Juventus should not have struggled to make the top four. Juventus should not have lost to PSV in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Allegri would have done better.
All right, fair enough. Let's just. Do you want to give your Joba your transfer?
Yeah, as already
Florian
mentioned.
Wirtz.
so
It doesn't have to be from your club now. Now, wow.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I
There's nothing you know that.
All right.
What's that defender?
my own-
Frimpong.
Oh yeah, Frimpong.
Frimpong.
Yeah, my own eye-catching transfer.
Delap.
Trent.
Trent. I will go with Trent. Whose debut was not great.
No, I don't think it was bad either.
It wasn't bad, but it was not great. Agendas have started already.
Yeah.
So
They also started
instantly.
counting 001
Yeah.
for Trent.
That's crazy. Anyway, let's wrap up. Still on the transfer front, but with a focus now on Nigerian players. What's next for our Nigerian superstars? Victor Osimhen, Victor Boniface, Tolu Arokodare, who is now being heavily linked with a move to Manchester United.
Yeah.
I want to give kudos to his agents. I think linking him to Manchester United, it's not going to happen, but he could get him a very big move.
I mean, Onuachu was the top goal scorer.
What God cannot do does not exist.
Onuachu was the top goal scorer in Belgium for how many years, and he never got a decent link. So I mean,
Man United link could get him.
I think he and his people just assume that links happen by just scoring goals in Belgium. Links happen by knowing Izo Chukwuaka.
No, yes,
but many other people.
You know the thing is, if you add Man U to something, a particular story and all that, like people take notice. I think he could also put other. I obviously clubs already have scouts and all that, but Man, you are going for this guy. This guy.
That's why I'm giving kudos to his agents.
So
he can get Crystal Palace. At least it's not Southampton.
He could get a very good move. I think he's one player who has to take the next
solo right now.
Yeah.
You don't think like you could do it one more season at least?
No. I think he.
So now it's time to.
Even if he's going to. If he's not going to make that upgrade to the Premier League,
Club Brugge,
I think he should move to maybe a league like Ligue 1, the French league.
From France now. He came to Belgium from
France. Top club in France.
Top club.
Yeah,
like,
he wasn't really playing.
Top club.
Or maybe even Germany.
Germany is another distance, but he has to move a step higher. To just that consistency.
Or maybe Galatasaray. Osimhen doesn't go there.
No. Galatasaray are moving different now. Galatasaray are not. It's like Osimhen has shown them like they
are thinking of keeping Osimhen. They want to pay.
And they are signing big. They signed it or signing. They are actively trying to sign Osimhen.
Yeah.
We are hearing that they are in for
Chalanoglu now.
And
Osimhen has given them some.
I've seen Galatasaray fans put together that Dream 11 and it's better than Chelsea's. Please.
Yeah. So they are aiming very. It's not like Arokodare is not quite high. Very good player. But I think...
So does someone like Iwobi deserve a move this summer? Or just stay at Fulham?
No.
To where?
No. Unless if he's leaving to Saudi Arabia.
Maybe as a replacement for...
Calvin Bassey, Fulham Player of the Year.
Yeah, I can understand Calvin Bassey, but the issue is just that I don't think clubs are really actively seeking for a centre back like that.
It will be to replace Lookman at Atlanta.
No. Speaking of Lookman, where is he going apart from the presidential villa?
I think Napoli. Napoli are really, really, really interested in signing Lookman. So yeah, we could see him move to Napoli.
Let's dramatize it a bit. Would it be a betrayer of his fellow countryman if Lookman goes to Napoli?
Betrayer
after the treatment?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. There's nothing like betrayal. That is just normal movement.
I know, I was joking. Yeah. Anyway, we'll have more time to talk about this next week. Our producers are doing their favorite dance already. Chiamaka Nnadozie, of course, has to be mentioned.
Manchester United, I hope.
Where is she going? She leaves Paris FC after 5 years?
I think Everton also.
I think if you're leaving a club like Paris FC that at least always gets to Champions League playoffs, she should
always. Not always.
Since they increased the slots to 3 for the Division 1 Feminine, they are always in the top 3 and they won the Coupe de France Feminine. So look for a club that should give you that in other leagues.
In the women's game, yes, but you also have to also consider financially. Maybe Everton are just willing to pay much more.
Considering the women's game, I don't think Everton are at a level where someone of Nnadozie's quality should be playing. World Cup, she showed out at the World Cup. She's been great for Paris FC. And it's not like they're not bigger clubs that are looking for goalkeepers. I mean, clubs in Spain, clubs even in England as well. So definitely, I think it's perhaps, as you said, a financial move or a financially motivated move.
Speaking of financial moves, Moses Simon also moves from Nantes to Paris FC. So congratulations to him and everybody involved. Do you have fun fact for us so we can go?
Well, yeah. It actually relates to something you said about, or I think Joba said about Italy always wanted to hire an Italian manager. And it's probably based on, I won't say superstition, but it's just what has happened, that a foreign manager has never won the World Cup in all the history of the World Cup. So only managers from the country have won the World Cup.
So we can strike Brazil out.
Yes, from the next year. And Nigeria as
Just bet
well.
on Nigeria.
And Portugal as well.
Ronaldo,
Yeah.
sorry, man.
Yeah, so congratulations to everybody that has an indigenous manager, whether they are good at their jobs or not. You are significantly more likely to
win the
win
World
a
Cup.
World Cup. On that note, we have to go. Well, we are likely to return next week, but not a sure.
A pity for England too.
Yeah, Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah, so for myself, Tunde Young, Joba Ogunwale, Izuchukwu Akawo, Ayoola Kelechi, and our special guest, Josh Too Sporty, thank you for your delightfully bright presence. Until next week, bye-bye.